So how many Prime Ministers of India have been assassinated? Well, there are three possible answers to this question. The first one's easy, Indira Gandhi. No problems with that. Second one is a little more complicated, Rajiv Gandhi. Complicated because yes, he was assassinated, but he wasn't actually Prime Minister when he was assassinated. It's the third one that's more complicated. The third Prime Minister of India to be assassinated was Lal Bahadur Shastri. Wait, I hear you say, Shastri died a natural death. He wasn't assassinated. Well, are we sure about that? Let me tell you why. Let me sort of set the stage for you. India and Pakistan went to war in 1965. The war was a stalemate. Both sides ran out of ammunition. But both sides also declared to their people that it had been a great and glorious victory. The Russians intervened. Shastri and Ayub Khan, who was then the Pakistani dictator, went off to Tashkent in the Soviet Union and negotiated. The settlement they worked at, the so-called ceasefire, was that each side would give back the land they'd taken from the other side and there would be no more war. It seemed reasonable except for one fact. We'd been told we'd won. So if we'd won, why were we giving back the land? Same goes for the Pakistanis. Ayub Khan was accompanied by Bhutto, who hated him, even though he was foreign minister, and Ayub hated Bhutto. Early one morning, right after the agreement had been signed, Bhutto was woken up by his aide, and the aide said to him, he said, "Sir, that bastard is dead." And Bhutto said, "Which one?" Thinking he meant Ayub Khan. But of course, they didn't mean Ayub Khan. As far as the Pakistanis were concerned, Shastri Ji was the evil man, and they were sort of delighted in a way that he was dead. But did they kill him? We don't know. What we do know is that while he did have a history of heart trouble, the death was sudden. He'd seemed fine the night before. So had somebody poisoned him? If so, who? The Pakistanis? Maybe, but in Russia that's hard to do. The Russians? Possible. They were never very keen on Shastri. Indians, and that's the theory. The theory is that Shastri had so many enemies within India that they were unhappy with what he'd done with the ceasefire, and that therefore they wanted him out of the way. What is the truth? Shastri's family began by saying it was a natural death. So did all of his aides. He came back to India. He was cremated with full state honors. And we thought the controversy had died. But 5 or 6 years later, it's raised its head again. People now say, somebody killed Shastri. How could he have died so suddenly? What is the truth? I don't know. Maybe someday we'll find out. Did you like the video? Well, if you did, post a like. It's easy enough to do. And if you have comments, suggestions, complaints even, send them to us. But whatever you do, don't forget to subscribe to Going Viral.